Hey, Scarlet Hawk Nation. It's Peter Boucher, Milford High School and Middle School Athletic Director. Very excited to get ready to kick off our winter sports with you, right? 2025, 2026. Before we get started, I do want to thank Tim Kayette and MTV for helping us out with this video and getting this out to everybody, and basically you being able to watch this in the comfort of your own home. Head athletic trainer Ashley Desko will join us a little bit later to talk about the medical necessities and the things we need for you to be a winter Scarlet Hawk for us. But in any event, we're excited to kick off. We will start December 1st. And we'll just keep moving through the presentation, and we'll get you as much information as we can as we navigate together. Again, just a quick thank you. I thank you in advance because I know it's mandatory for you to view this, right? We joke around a little bit, prisoner, tourist, explorer. You're one of the three. We want you to move to the tourist or explorer as you go through the video and try to learn as much as you can. But you know, we've had a lot of success with a lot of our other sports and other seasons, and we're looking forward to having some fun and success this coming winter. This is this is a snapshot. This is not meant to be comprehensive. These are just some of the teams that have done really well. We typically don't put up individuals. Of course, we have New England champions. We have state champions. We have divisional champions. We have league champions, right? But this is just a quick snapshot of what we've done over the last couple of seasons, and we're looking forward to chasing championships and chasing success as we move forward this winter. Real quick, this has been our sustainable expectations for far longer than I've been here. As I mentioned, I think this is my 12th or 13th year. What we try to do is we try to quantify what our expectations are for our student athletes, for our coaches, for our fans, right? And also for each team. And we'll talk a little bit more about these as we dig a little deeper and spend some time together. Here are the sports we'll be offering. Basically, at the high school, we will start Monday, December 1st. And yes, that is right after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving would be on a Thursday. You basically have 3 days off to work off the turkey and the celebrations, and then we'll see you Monday. And these are the sports that we'll be offering. I'll let you just take a second to look at those. We will end our presentation with the head coach's emails, that particular slide, so that you'll be able to check in with those coaches, or me. You can email all of us, the head coach and myself, if you want and have any questions after the presentation. Stacy, we're very excited, right? When I started 12 years ago, we did not have any sports at Stacy. They had been removed for budgetary reasons and whatnot throughout the years, and we felt that it was really important to build the culture. We have 5 sports in the fall. We have 5 sports in the spring. We have 2 sports in the winter right now. We offer co-ed wrestling and we offer co-ed dance, and here are the head coaches that you can reach out to if you're looking to get in touch. And again, you can always copy me on the email. And Stacy always staggers a week behind the high school. So Stacy's going to start Monday, December 8th. Here's our athletic department, okay? Obviously, you have myself there. You can reach out anytime you want. Lori Pinto is our amazing athletic administrative assistant. Ashley Desko is our head trainer. You're going to hear from her a little bit later. Coach Jose Pinto, who is also a alumni along with Lori, is a retired teacher, and he's our head strength coach. He works all 3 seasons up in the weight room designing workouts for out-of-season student athletes, and then folks that we want to send up there during the season as well. And Felicia Faulkner works with me as our Stacy Athletics coordinator. She's at the school. She's a teacher. She's a coach, so she helps coordinate a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the logistics that comes out of the athletic office. Again, here's our important dates, right? You're going to see this a couple of times. Here's important information, right? So the high school is going to start on December 1st. Stacy winter sports are going to start on Monday, December 8th. Coaches will be sending information via emails about, you know, what the practices look like, what the tryouts look like the first week. Really important. The best thing you can do is 3 things right now. 1, get on familyid.com. Get into the Milford High School or Stacy Middle School in Massachusetts. Please keep in mind there is a Milford in Connecticut. There's also a Milford in New Hampshire. You want to make sure that you check on the correct one, because we do get people from other states trying to register, and we also have folks every once in a while register in another state, which doesn't make you eligible in Milford, Mass. We want to make sure we do that. So please get registered. Secondly, you want to make sure that we have your most up-to-date physical on file. You are now capable of uploading that on the Arbiter website. It's Family ID. It's the same thing. It's the same company. You can upload that. If you're having trouble with that and you're having trouble uploading it, then you can certainly email it to myself or Trainer Ashley, and our emails will be all over the place throughout the presentation. So lastly, the one thing I would say is don't let the first day of winter sports be the first day of winter sports. If you're not on a fall team, and we hope that you are, you really want to be working out now. Start working on your fitness, start working on your conditioning, and start working on your skills so that that particular Monday when you start is not the first day. We want to get going. So as far as expectations from our coaches, student athletes, families, and fans, we want to talk about this. We want to go through this. I will absolutely share a little bit more as we go through the slides. But we do have strong expectations, especially being from Milford, being in the Hockomock League, and competing in the MIAA. So what I've done 12 or 13 years ago when I arrived is, of course, I knew about the Milford mythology. It's one of the reasons I wanted to work here. What I did is I really took a look at the past and what many alumni and the vast majority of you watching had helped create years and years and years in advance of what we are trying to do. We're trying to perpetuate the greatness of Milford from, years past, last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, et cetera. So we'll talk a little bit about these. We have 3 core values that all of our coaches are aware of, all of our student athletes are aware of, and we believe that the vast majority of our fans are aware of also. So one is what we call the relentless pursuit of excellence. We compete in one of the most challenging leagues in New England, if not the most challenging, right? But this is Milford. We want to compete, right? That's what we do. We face that head on. This is when we talk about relentless pursuit of excellence. We talk about the attitude and expectation that sets the foundation for every choice that you make as a student athlete, that parents make, helping kids, get to practices, Saturday mornings, et cetera. When we compete, right? It's really just basically putting 150% effort into everything you do, making sure that you can represent yourself, your team, the program, and Scarlet Hawk Nation, the greater Milford community in general. We're talking about academics, right? There are academic expectations to be on a Milford team and an MIA team. We're talking about practices and games. We're talking about mind and body preparation, right? That talks about confidence, right? Persistence, all of the things that you need to be successful on a sports team and in life. And it's a mindset, right? It's how you choose to approach your practices, your preparations, your game matches and meets. And for us, we know that has to do with how you prepare your body, especially in your mind. And when we talk about the body, we talk about, the nutrition and the things you put into your body as far as hydrating, right? Eating the right foods, getting the right amount of sleep. And it also is a conscious decision about the things that you don't put into your body, right? Making good choices as far as chemicals and alcohol, and making sure that we avoid those types of situations for sure. So again, it's a commitment, and we know you know that. So we're happy to press forward with that. 2 is championship sportsmanship, right? That's on the courts, fields, mats, track, ice, practice, etc. You know what I'm talking about. Anywhere and everywhere that we go, especially when we're competing, we want to behave respectfully, right? Even when the others around us might not be, when fans from other teams are not making good choices, when maybe the players that we're playing are not making good choices. Maybe sometimes the coaches on the other team are not making good choices. We want to make sure that we are representing ourselves, our community, our alumni, right? The Milford mythology. We want to make sure that we're doing things the right way. And that goes to our fans too. We want to make sure that we're not yelling things and saying things that are disrespectful. We want to make sure that our fans, whether it's alumni, whether it's parents, guardians, brothers, sisters, family, you're somebody's friend. We want to make sure that we are representing ourselves accordingly, that we are good role models for little kids that might be in the stands, or grandma and grandpa who are coming to watch the game, and just really making sure that we're behaving the way a Scarlet Hawk should. 3, Scarlet Hawk 24/7. Really what this means is, the minute you put on the uniform, you're representing us, whether you're wearing the uniform or not, right? And we always say, wearing the uniform in competition, that's important. But it also means even if you're not wearing anything red, white, even if you're not wearing something that has your team logo on it, when you're walking around the halls, when you're in the cafeteria, when you're in the classrooms, you're representing your team, your coaches, the alumni, the program. When you're going shopping at the mall, when you're outside of the Milford community or inside the Milford community, going out to dinner, people recognize you, right? People know who our student athletes are, and that's really important. And our coaches, we want everybody behaving this way, including myself, right? We want to make sure that in season, out of season, everywhere we go, that we're making good decisions and we're being good role models, and we're representing Scarlet Hawk Nation appropriately. What can you expect from our staff? Very simple, right? We hold ourselves in high regard, and we have a high bar that we believe we have to stay above. So 1, professional and prepared all the time. 2, intent and intensity in every practice. Most of us will have 2-hour and 15-minute practices. Every 10 to 15 minutes of practices are scripted ahead of time by the coach. Of course, they're going to make decisions of what they see in the field or in the pool or on the ice or in the gym or whatnot. But we want to make sure that we are planning to press forward progress, right? 3, this goes for every single competitor that we have, middle school, high school. We practice, we plan, and we play to win every game. Are we going to win every game, meet match? No, we're not. However, we compete in a league that there is very, very, very minimal of a variance between the number 1 team in the league and the 10th or 11th. That's what sets this league apart. 10th, 11th, and 12th teams in this league typically are really close to the 2nd and 3rd. So we want to be ready. We want to have a game plan. We want to be good to go for every single time we compete, whether we're 10-2 or we're 2-10. We're looking forward to competing and battling to win. Each team should have a tiered system, right? I meet with the coaches. We talk. There's 4 goals for every team and individual, depending on what sport you're in. And the coaches will encourage that depending on what they think and what they believe the next level is. So, for example, number 1, every single team should be trying to make the tournament, right? We want to make sure that we're pressing forward. Again, we're going to try to win as many games, meets, and matches as we can. Some of our teams should expect to go undefeated. Some of our teams are going to be working hard to get the power ranking to get into the tournament. But number 1, we always want to qualify for the tourney. Number 2, if we have a team that has the personnel and the skill and the persistence, then we want to try and win our league, right? We want to win the Kelly Rex part of the Hockomock League. If we're really good, we're going to try to win the division in the state, whether it's Division 2, Division 3, depending on where we are right now. And some teams are in different divisions. That's the odd thing right now in the state. Some of our programs might be Division 2, some might be Division 3. It is what it is. It's a grouping that the MIA assigns us, and we tackle that as it comes at us. If we're really, really good and we think we can win the division, we typically will press forward and try to win the entire state. And, we've had teams do that, of course, since the dawn of time with Milford. But, in the past, we've had cheer, we've had wrestling, we've had individuals with track and swimming and gymnastics. There's just been so many teams, boys soccer, boys volleyball. And I don't mean to leave anybody out. I'm just off the top of my head mentioning teams that are really, doing a nice job. Our basketball teams compete. We do a nice job competing. And when we can win at the next level, we try to do that. This here basically just outlines the MIA and the Milford Public Schools regulations, right? So first of all, number 1, MIA, MHS. Here's the bottom line, right? You have to do your day job before you can go to your afternoon job. During your day job is your academics. You have to make sure that you have 24 quality point credits. Report cards just came out last week, so everybody should know if they are eligible, if not, or not. If you're not sure, check in with your head coach or swing by the athletic office. We recommend during lunch or flex so you don't miss any academic time, and we will run your report card and we'll check and make sure that you are eligible. Number 2, got to be in school. Can't just show up at 12, 1 or 2, and we're not saying that anybody does this. We just want to make sure we're setting the expectations. Got to be in school on time in the morning. We understand folks might have medical appointments. That's fine. Drop into my office and we'll clear that. There are also, unfortunately, life events that pop up, right? Sometimes you're sick. We'll work with that. We'll make sure that we can get you cleared. Unfortunately, sometimes there are wakes or funerals, or there are, large or important medical events that you have to get to. If you can let me know in advance or check in with Lori in the athletic office, then we'll do everything we can to make sure that you are cleared for that. And we want to do that. Okay. But just missing school because you feel like it, or coming in at 10:30 because you felt like sleeping in, that typically means you're not going to practice that day. And if it's an unexcused late, unexcused tardy, or unexcused absence if you don't show, and you are not going to practice that day, and you would not be able to play in a game, meet, or match. So we really want to avoid that. We're committed to what we're doing, but academics sets the table for everything that we do. Everything in number 2 really has to do with treating other people respectfully and fairly. I always say to folks when we've been in the auditorium for these meetings, I say, I don't understand why anybody would treat anybody inappropriately, but more importantly, why would anybody in Milford give anybody in Milford a hard time? And I don't even mean to chuckle, but why would you pick on a teammate, right? It's that team against the world, right? Once we break camp after the first week and a half, 2 weeks of training, it's that team against the world. Why would you give each other a hard time? Why would you, press each other, make fun of each other? So we really try to minimize the bullying and the hazing. That really doesn't fly. It doesn't really happen much, to be perfectly honest. Our captains, our coaches, I've made a real point of this. Our admin, our principal, from the superintendent all the way down. This is important to us. So we really make sure that everybody understands our expectations, treat each other well, and everything will work out just fine. Number 4 is just really get on Family ID as soon as you're done watching this, as soon as you've completed this video, and get registered on Family ID, and we'll know that you want to try out for the team, and we'll be reaching out to you. Expectations regarding some of the other things that are important to what we do, right? You got to attend all practices and games. You know that. We've talked about that, preparing physically and mentally. As far as playing time goes, this is really important to make sure that people understand that you are making the jump from club sports, from youth sports. There's a higher calling, right? There's a higher expectation. So here's how we look at it. If we are fortunate enough to have a freshman team and you make the freshman team, it's about skill and strategy. It's about conditioning and fitness. If you make the freshman team, what we try to do is we try to make sure that you are playing. And that means 50-50, right? We don't count plays, we don't count minutes, but the coaches work hard to make sure that if you make a freshman team, that you're going to be playing 50% of the time. If you're on a JV team, the stakes get a little bit higher, right? Everybody should get in the game, and we call that 1/3 to 2/3. So if you're on the JV team, again, it's skill and strategy development. We're preparing you, or we're trying to prepare you for the varsity level, right, which is the highest level that we have, the most competitive. You should expect to get into 1/3 of the games, meets or matches, or plays. Again, we don't count them. We just really try to do a nice job with our coaches, making sure that the kids are getting into the games and the competitions. Varsity, this is the real world, right? This is as if you're interviewing for a job, and you've got a team spot on the team, and it's up to you to work hard in practice and make sure that the coaches see that you deserve a spot on the floor, in the pool, on the ice, on the gym, whatever the surface or the playing environment it is. So, when kids come to me and say, hey, look, I'm not playing as much as I want, what can I do? My response to them is 2 things. 1, go back to the coach and ask them 2 questions. What am I doing well? What do I need to improve on? And that's a conversation that the student athlete should have with the coach before parents or guardians get involved, right? We're trying to prepare our young Scarlet Hawks for the real world. If you have a job, if you're in college, you're going to have to advocate for yourself. Even now, if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you're advocating for yourself, right? So we want to see that type of conversation happen. And what I say to kids is, work so hard in practice that the coach cannot not put you in the game, the meet or the match. And I know that wasn't grammatically correct, but it's the best way to say it, right? Work so hard in practice so that the coach cannot not have you on the floor, on the ice, on the gym floor, or in the pool or whatnot. So that's really our recommendation. If you have that conversation, let's say you're working hard and you feel like you should be playing more, and you have the conversation with the coach, and the parent wants to get involved after that conversation between student athlete and coach has happened, simply send the coach an email. One of the things that we say is, please, please, please do not ask to speak to the coach after a game, meet, or match. Everybody's fired up, right? Emotions are high. That's not a good time to approach a coach, especially after a game, right? Maybe the player is a little bit anxious. They didn't get in the way that they wanted. You could later in the locker room on the bus ride home, ask the coach, hey, coach, could I meet with you tomorrow for 10 or 12 minutes before practice or after practice? That's the way to do that, okay? Again, being professional and being prepared. So that's what we recommend. Boosters Club. We didn't pull anybody for this, so I'm going to run through the booster slides. We have a great booster club here. Colleen and Antonio is our current president right now. Who they are, they're looking for parents, guardians, alumni, volunteers who want to help the kids, right? Their purpose is to encourage enthusiastic support and interest in Milford High School and Stacy Middle School athletics. They meet monthly on the first Wednesday of each month. And as soon as you sign up, you will get an email letting you know when that is. Sometimes it's virtual. A lot of times It's at the high school in the E-Wing, 7 o'clock on the first Wednesday of each month. And they are a charitable nonprofit. There's no money being made here. Everything goes to help the programs and the kids. Again, sort of capturing what they do. They support all Milford High School student athletes in every sport and those that need support. They contribute to the advancement and needs of the athletic program outside of what we can budget for. They do pay for all of our awards, right? Anytime you see a banquet going on, any of the letters, the pins, the trophies, MVP plaques and whatnot, individual recognitions, they're paying for that, okay? And a lot of the scholarships come from fundraising by the teams, and also by the boosters, and they organize all sorts of events, fundraisers. You can see them. You go to a football game, basketball game, some of our larger events, some of the home wrestling meets, home swim meets. That's our boosters out there really putting forth, pride, effort, time, and just trying to raise as much money as they can to support our kids. One of the ones coming up, I will share this, is the turkey trot, right? That would be Thanksgiving morning. That's one of the biggest things that they do. They support our Iron Hawk pins that we give out that at least 14 or 15 communities have now copied since we started that about 8 or 9 years ago. And I've always said that thievery is the finest form of flattery, right? If you're doing something well, people try to steal it. That's fine. We don't mind being the leaders in what we do. So again, Thursday morning, you can come to the school Wednesday night before the Thanksgiving morning, right? You can sign up online if you go to the boosters website, or you can sign up that evening before. And we'd love to see you at Thanksgiving. We'd love to have 300 or 400 people walking. You can walk, you can run. Run's different than racing, right? Or you can race and see what kind of time you can get. But it's a great time. A lot of alumni, a lot of kids show up, and we're looking for a lot of fun the winter and the spring with our boosters. Just a quick picture of some of the things that the boosters help with. Those are our Scarlet Hawk, Iron Hawk pins, right, that everybody has tried to emulate and borrow from us. That's great. Some of the chairs that we have in the gym, right, for basketball, wrestling, unified basketball, anything, cheer that we host in the gymnasiums, volleyball. If you take a peek and you go to any away games in the Hockomock League, you'll see that most schools have tried to emulate and mirror what we're doing and try to look like a college situation, which we love. That's fine. It's great. It's better for the kids. And they also support one of my favorite activities. We call this the show, Scarlet Hawk of the Week. It's an acronym. Right here's some of our alumni from last year, a couple from this year. Every week we try to give out a Scarlet Hawk of the Week guy and gal. I take recommendations from the coaches. Sometimes I'll take recommendations from parents and guardians who will email me. And we vote each week, and we select somebody. We take a picture with those kids. And sometimes, as you can see, it's one or two. Might be 2 gals, it might be 3 boys any given week, depending on what's going on. This is not the most successful people. This is the hardest working. These are the people that come. They're 15 minutes early to practice. They're ready. They're rocking. It's a game, meet, or match. They're just giving 1,000%, and we want to recognize that type of effort. That's what Scarlet Hawk Nation is all about, right? Just competing and committing to excellence. So, and here's the websites. Here's the email. If you want to connect with our booster folks, we would love that. If you haven't been involved, please do so. I think they're fun. They're great. They raise a lot of money, but more importantly, the time with them is enjoyable. They make it fun when they're volunteering. So it's a great group. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Milford community and their commitment to excellence, right? I have worked in 2 other high schools in my 34, 35-year career. And I wanted to, I share this all the time because my going joke is that I am actually from Milford. I was born in Milford Hospital, right? And it took me 40 years to come home. I appreciate the community adopting me. But one of the things that I wanted to share is that not everybody takes care of their kids, right? Their kids. And when I say kids, I say ages 1 to 100, because I think Milford takes care of everybody. Nobody plans the way Milford does for the future, for the present and the future. I've never seen anybody plan the way our FinCom plans and the way our financial folks and just the vision of our administration, our booster, our school committee, everybody just working together, and everybody, all the committees in town. But the reason I say that is because I've worked at those 2 other high schools, and they don't do the things in the manner or the fashion that Milford does. And what do I mean by that? I like, look at our strength and conditioning, right? 2 weight room facilities. We have a fully functioning weight room. When I arrived 12 years ago, one of the things the hiring committee said is, what do we really need? I said, you need a fitness center. Other towns that I've worked in, it took 5-6 years to get a fitness center going. It took us 3 or 4 months. They dedicated the room. They found the equipment, and now we have a fully functioning fitness center also, right? You look at the turfs that we have. We have a fully functioning turf at the high school, track that was resurfaced just 2 years ago. It's amazing. We are a hub for the MIAA because of our geographical location and because of our facilities. More importantly, they want us to host all the time, but we can host large events for the Milford community because we have the ability to do so. We have the auxiliary turf, the woodland turf, right? That's fantastic for a lot of our practices. Our youth group get in there. It's just an amazing situation. We have a lot of auxiliary rooms also, right? We've got a cheer and dance room. We have a wrestling room. Again, not every school has that. A lot of schools, for example, with wrestling, their practices are like 6 to 8 p.m. in the gym or in the cafeteria because they don't have room. Milford plans for these types of situations long in advance. Tennis courts are in great shape. They're going to get a little bit of work this summer, right? New PA system in the gym, new PA system out at the turf complex, right? The safety nets were put up a couple of years ago. Really what it boils down to is two things, and I've said this since I started. Milford has two things that set it apart from everybody else. One, they have people power. If we are able to communicate that we need something and we can convince people that it's important for kids, they have the people power. They'll build it. They'll donate the goods, the materials, and they'll make it happen. Or two, if it's not something we can build, they'll put the financial support behind what we need to do, and they do it quickly, which is amazing because they understand how important it is for our kids, right? We're investing in the future, right? I always say we're forging the future. Some other situations that are important to know as we move forward. Community service, it's important for our teams. We like to give back. We try to connect with our youth teams as much as we can. So we like our football team to connect with our youth football, soccer, youth soccer, et cetera, right? We try to have a community service for each team. We have a one-day cleanup that we have put together. I believe this is going to be our Spring Fling 4. The boosters feed the kids, get this all set up. And what we do, we take a Saturday morning, we clean up the high school fields, the turf, the track. We go to Pheno, we go to Town Park, we go to Woodland, anywhere and everywhere that we practice and we play in the gym, in the pool. We try to just make sure we take one day and really, really work hard to spruce up everything, just to say thank you back to the folks that are taking care of the kids and making sure we have what we need to compete. Our athletic website is taken care of by the technology group in the school. We appreciate that. There's all sorts of stuff. Again, saying thank you to the boosters for their Scarlet Hawk of the Week. So many schools have tried to emulate that and do what we do, and that's fine. We're happy with that. Our Leadership Academy, we do something every summer where we bring our captains in for a day or two. Big shout out to a lot of people. You'll see a slide. I don't want to forget anybody, but we really try to work hard to make sure that our leaders, our selected student leaders, know how to be leaders, right? We give them skills to work forward. And if you want to keep an eye on us, our athletic Instagram account is here. We're all over social media at Hawk Nation AD, right? We've had that since I started. It's been the same. And take a peek at that. You're going to see a lot of cool things happening throughout our athletic department. Just some quick pics of our Leadership Academy, right? We do academic. We do stuff in the cafeteria. We work in the auditorium, but we also go outside. And Coach Lou Colabello, Coach Andrew Manini, and I, we are the three folks who really program and teach. We believe in experiential learning, right? So what we do, we talk about things, we experience it, and then we debrief. That's really how we do. Here's a quick snapshot. Again, hoping I haven't left anybody out. These are the folks who over the years have really worked hard to help us sort of stay out front as far as training our leaders and making sure they're confident in what they need to do to be leaders for their teams. Another quick picture, right? Scarlet Hawks of the Week, some throwbacks, some recent ones. As you can, everybody's always smiling. They love to be recognized, and they should. They've earned it. So they get a free T-shirt. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to head athletic trainer Ashley Desko. She's going to work through the medical necessities of what it takes to make sure that you are cleared for the winter.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure most of you know me. I'm Ashley Desko, the athletic trainer for Milford High School. So what I'm here for, injury prevention, injury evaluation, and treatment. I come in at 1 o'clock every day, and then I'm here until everything's over. So that usually includes Saturday morning practices. I'm usually not in on Sundays unless we have a game or something. Physicals, valid 13 months to the day from the date it was completed. If it's within 13 months, it's current or valid and you're good to try out. If it's over 13 months and it's out of date and you're going to need a new one before you try out. The coaches have a Google Doc that I've shared with them. So they have all the dates. They know if you're registered on Family ID, whether or not your physical is valid, all that good stuff. So like Mr. Boucher mentioned, you can now upload your physical onto Family ID when you register, or if you have trouble with that, you can always email them to me at adesko@milfordma.com. Again, if you're having trouble getting a physical before tryouts, or yours is expiring soon, and you can't get an appointment, we have vouchers for a free sports physical at the urgent cares around us. Another important topic, concussions. Always report any concussion-like symptoms. The most notable symptoms being the physical ones, so headache, nausea, balance problems, difficulty focusing or concentrating. If you continue to participate while you have a concussion, that makes recovery time even longer. So always report concussion symptoms. And it's not just if you get hit in the head. It can be a blow to the body that causes your head to kind of move and your brain's just suspended in fluid. So sometimes they can get knocked around even if you don't hit your head. So you can get, concussion symptoms that way, but that's why it's always important to report concussion symptoms to your coach or me. If you are diagnosed with a concussion, it's important that, you go to the doctor, you get diagnosed, you hand in a doctor's note to me, and then once you're symptom free, then you go back to the doctors and get cleared, and then you have to complete a gradual return to play protocol. So that's over the course of 4 days, just gradually increasing exercise, and then you have to complete a full practice before you play in a game. Baseline testing. So this is really just for contact sports. Again, this will be on the Google Doc that the coaches have. So if you completed your baseline testing last year, you don't need to do it this year. It's every 2 years. And we've recently switched over from impact testing to Sway Medical. It's really convenient. It's an app on your phone. You download it, you log in with the code that I give you, and then it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And again, I'll schedule doing this with your coaches. But again, if you did it last year, you do not need to do it this year. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate it. For the folks watching, if you've worked with Ashley, you know how lucky we are and fortunate we are to have her expertise. She's the highest level of athletic trainer I've ever worked with. And I was a college AD about a little over 15 years ago. So anyway, she's fantastic. We're lucky to have her. So thanks for all you're doing, Ashley. We appreciate it. So real quick, this is sort of just a cheat sheet, right? You just saw that slide a second ago, just talking about, we want you to get registered. That helps our coaches plan for tryouts and making sure that we know who's coming. If you are registering Sunday night at 10 p.m., that doesn't really give our coaches a lot of time to plan. So if you could jump on that ASAP, that would be super helpful. Get that physical set to go. There's no user fees, thanks to our school committee and really good planning and powerful planning. That has been taken off the table, so we really appreciate that. A little bit about colleges and competing at the next level. Milford has this phenomenon, and it's really cool, and it's really powerful, and it goes long before anything that I was a part of in Milford. It goes way back to the 70s. We all know that, most people would like to play at the college level, right? The cold, hard reality is that 3, 4, maybe 5% of high school student athletes make it onto an NCAA roster. I just wanted you to take a peek at this slide and take a look at what professional coaches, right, NCAA coaches are looking for. They're looking for multi-sport athletes. The vast majority of college coaches will say to you, what other sport do you play? So if you are a wrestler, for example, they like to see you in football or track or both because they like the cross training. They like the multi-point application of other training, right? Speed, strength, and other ways to apply that to your body. And that's just one example, right? Talk about basketball. Basketball, you like to see your kids in baseball or volleyball or track and field in the spring. Again, just an example. And the reason why over here, right? Fewer injuries, greater poise, they're more well-balanced, they're more mentally tough, and they don't have overuse, right? Somebody who plays one sport all year round, yes, your skill set is going to be great, but if you look at certain sports, there's a tendency to get injuries that are very prevalent because of that overuse. So we really like to see our kids playing 2 sports, and we love the 3-sport athletes, right? We call those Iron Hawks. The boosters have some really, really cool and enjoyable rewards and recognitions that we give you at the end of the season, end of the year, and more importantly at the Dick Corbin Awards Night, which is our senior awards night every year. Again, approximately 3 to 5% of high school athletes make it to the NCAA. One thing that I'm super proud to share is that Milford has 3 to 4 times the national average. So we have approximately 100 seniors competing every year between fall, winter, and spring. Many of them are dual athletes, dual sport athletes, or Iron Hawks, right? We typically will send 19, 20, 21, 22 seniors into the NCAA. So if you do the math, it really should be 3 or 4 or maybe 5. 10 would be amazing. That would be double. So we like to, for some reason, we find a way to triple or quadruple that. And that's really because of our coaches, our alumni. Let's face it, many of our parents and guardians are former Scarlet Hawks in Milford. And there's just a really strong feeling and undertone of folks really just working as hard as they can and trying to get to the next level. I put that picture up of Bridgewater State College. They won the MASCAC, and there were no less than 5 Milford Scarlet Hawks on that team. So you better believe that men's coach is at a lot of Bridgewater, a lot of Milford games, because we've got what we call like a pipeline. A lot of our sports will, some of the colleges local in New England will just sort of fall in love with the Milford team and just try to recruit the heck out of that team because they know the coaches and the kids, and they just put out tough kids and skilled kids. So I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to see all those Milford guys out there. That was fun last year. One of the things I like to mention is being on an athletic team can be one of the best experiences of your entire life, right? And that might sound a little cheesy, for lack of a better term, and I do chuckle when I say that, but I will tell you this. We compete in the most competitive league in New England right now. It's the deepest league. Let's put it that way. And as I get older, right, I'm not old yet, but I'm getting older, I say to kids, people will say, oh, hey, who'd you have junior year in English class? And I can't remember. But if you ask me who I wrestled sophomore season in the winter and what my record was, and did I win in the first, second, or third period, or did I unfortunately lose every once in a while, or what did you run in spring track for the 2-mile against Oliver Ames or Franklin, or what place did you get at the state? I don't forget any of those. And you don't really forget the fun times, the practices, the bus rides, right? The celebrations, the tough losses, and just the teamwork and the camaraderie and the persistence that I think I know you learn from being on a team. So what I try to say to folks is, if you're watching this and you played youth sports, or you didn't, and you haven't been on a team for a while, jump on, try out, come join us. If you're somebody who's, maybe you played a sport in the fall, but you're not playing a sport in the winter, come join us, right? Or in the spring and you're not playing. Or if you're somebody who has a couple of friends who, are not on a winter team, tell them to come out to tryouts. What I say to folks is, come out for a week or two, get to the first scrimmage, get to the first game. And if you like it, stick with us. And if you don't, then it's okay to walk away. But give us 2 weeks, and we think you'll enjoy yourself, and you'll appreciate the skills that you're learning and the teamwork and the camaraderie and all that fun stuff. Again, 25-26, right? Here's what you need to do. Get on Family ID. As soon as this video is over, there's no user fees. You don't have to pay anything extra like the years ago. Get that updated physical uploaded, or send that to Trainer Ashley or I if you're having trouble. And get working out, get training, start to get fit, start to work on your skills from last winter, and let's get going. I'll leave you with this. This is one of the few things that I like to share from my coaching and playing in high school and college. I happen to believe that it's my 3D theory, right? I happen to believe, I've been saying this for a dozen years now. I happen to believe that every student athlete who joins us in the 7th or 8th grade or the 9th grade, right, can be a varsity athlete. Does that mean you're going to be a star? Maybe not. But I believe that with hard work, commitment, and the relentless pursuit of excellence, you can forge your mind and your body to improve. And I think you can crack into the varsity lineup at some point in your career. And the 3 Ds are really simple. Dedication, right? Commit to your craft, 200%. That means getting to bed early. It means getting up on time, having a good breakfast, decent lunch, right? Making sure that you're fueling your body, hydration, not putting chemicals, not smoking, not making risky decisions, right? Making sure that you're dedicated to what you're doing, not just in season all the time, 24/7, 52 weeks out of the year. Destination, right? Excuse me. Having a clear set of goals. Once you get on a team, once you realize what your skill set is, determine where you want to go. Set the bar high, right? If you're breaking into just getting some playing time, strive to be a starter. If you're a starter, strive to be the best at your position in our division, right, of the Hockomock League. If you're that, try to be the MVP on your team. Strive to be the MVP of the league, et cetera, et cetera. I think that makes so having a clear destination, right, a pathway, so to speak, is going to allow you to work up and cascade through that, and hopefully fuel you, encourage you to be better, right? I always say to people, how bad do you want to be good? How hard are you willing to work? Desire. I don't think there's anything. You watch that in our sports teams, right? The kids that work hard, end of the game, right? 2 minutes to go, fourth quarter, seventh inning, third period of a wrestling match. You're in the 500 of a swimming event. You're in the 2 mile for track. Doesn't you can be in the 55 meter. It's at the end of the race. It's desire, right? How bad do you want to be good? And I think if you sort of fuel that sort of passion, right? That fury, that ferocity to get better, and that really burns within you, I don't think anything can stop you. So just working relentlessly, 24/7, 7 days a week, every month, just to press forward. I think if you take these 3 Ds, you can suit up, you can be a varsity athlete, and you can make a name for yourself at Milford. Again, getting close to the end here, 2 powerful rhetorical questions. I wish I had thought of this when I was a player in high school and college, and this really came to me while working at Milford, right? I started asking kids when they joined the Stacy team, 7th and 8th grade, right? Some of them 6th grade if it's track or a non-contact sport. And whenever you join us at the Milford level, whatever, at 9th, 10th, 11th, even 12th grade, what do you want your footprint to be, right? What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to be remembered? Don't start thinking about that junior or senior. You want to start thinking about the second that you suit up, right? Freshman year, you want to be thinking, what is my coach going to say about me at my last senior banquet? What is my coach going to say about me if I'm fortunate enough to win a scholarship or get an award at the Dick Corbin Senior Awards Night, right? Our senior ceremony. What are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? And am I going to be one of those kids that they are just absolutely devastated to lose? They don't want you to graduate. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want. So think about that now. Put that in place and start building and working towards what you want to be by the time you graduate. And 2, could you possibly work harder in practices and games and meets and matches? And my response is, heck yeah, right? I wish somebody had taught me this in high school and middle school, and I wish I had learned it, right? Self-education. Do you have 1% more, 2% more, 3% more when you're exhausted? I don't think it's fair to ask for 10% more in the second half of the fourth quarter, or maybe 15 minutes to go in a 2-hour practice. But I do think you can look at yourself. You can look at your teammates and say, hey, we got 2% more. We got 3% more. We can dig in. Let's make more forward progress. And I think that's a great life skill. So think about that while you're training and getting ready for competing for Milford. I think one of the last things I'm going to share with you is it's an evolution that I don't like. It's my own personal opinion. It's my professional opinion as well. It's gotten much easier to be average. And I think this is really stemming from COVID, right? I think a lot of folks don't really necessarily work as hard as they used to. And I see this in a lot of places. This is not a negative. It's just I think people learned that maybe you don't have to work as hard as you did before COVID to maybe just get by. We don't want to just get by. We don't want to survive. We want to thrive, right? So dare to be great. Milford is not mediocre. You'll hear me say that in practices when I'm walking around. You might hear me yelling that at games, meets and matches. But I think Milford's not mediocre. Milford wants to be great. So I think working hard, again, 7 days a week, not just in practice, sleeping, preparing mentally, right? Getting ready for what you need to do. Really just dare to be great. That's what we want you doing. That's what we want everybody doing. Big thank you to our jungle, right? That's our Milford fan base, right? I put a couple of pictures here when the stadiums have been full. This is a couple of years old over here. These guys were at one of our hockey games, and there was a theme, of course. Just thank you. We appreciate it. Our kids are generally really, really well behaved. Our parents are generally really, really well behaved. You know, We're not allowed to yell names. We don't yell the names of our opponents. We don't yell numbers of our opponents. We shouldn't be yelling at the refs, right? There's a referee shortage. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But we're there to cheer our team on, not cheer the other team. And when you come out in masses and in big groups, it's like having an extra player on the court or on the turf or in the pool or on the track or whatnot on the mat. So we appreciate that. Let's keep that up. That's a fantastic tradition that goes way back. And we want to keep that pressing forward. Be kind, be a good role model. If you're, if you're a student, if you're a fan, if you're an adult, there's a national shortage of officials right now. I think 2 years ago, a great example was we had to move, every team in the league had to move at least one Friday night game to Thursdays. Excuse me, because we didn't have enough officials. We couldn't host Friday night football games because officials didn't want to work anymore. And people are not going into officiating, and a lot of people are just getting out early. And the reason they'll tell you why is because of the fans. People just ride them all night long. They yell at them. They say things that they would never say anywhere else on the planet. And you got to remember, whoever that guy or gal is that's officiating, they're human, right? They're somebody's kid. They're somebody's dad, somebody's mom. So you want to treat them with respect. And when they make a bad call, you might want to yell, hey, I don't agree with you, or hey, that was awful, once, not 100 times. And if they continue to make bad calls, you got to leave it alone, in my opinion. And you won't see me yelling at the refs a lot. If it's egregious, you'll hear me yell, and then I'll back it off, because I've learned one thing. If you ride them verbally all night, we're not going to get any 50-50 calls. It's human nature. If they're capable of making a call for the other team when it's a 50-50 call, subjective, you watch. The more we ride them, the more we give them a hard time, the less calls we get. And that shouldn't be the way it is, but that might be human nature. But the one thing I always say to the kids and the coaches when we all get fired up is, when is the last time you saw a high school official or referee change their call? Think about that for a split second. That's rhetorical, but think about it, please. You haven't. I haven't. They make the bad call. The bad call stays the bad call, and yelling at them, screaming at them, maybe berating them or degrading them doesn't help. It only puts things more against us, I think. So let's be respectful. Let's continue. We are one of the best fan bases in the league. We're one of the best fan bases in the area, and that's a proud point for us. And we want to make sure that we continue. That's our alumni. That's our parents and guardians. That's our families. That's our fans. That's everybody. So let's really make sure we continue to do that. We appreciate it. Culture. Culture is everything, right? This is for everybody out there. This is for our alumni. We have some of the best culture I have ever seen anywhere I've been, at the collegiate level, at the professional level, right? I've had the fortune, really good fortune, years ago, working with a couple of Olympians, right? And, I've worked with youth groups all the way to Olympic level, right? And I think culture is everything. And our culture is really powerful. I think every team member should be contributing to the culture positively. The coaches should be contributing, right? Our boosters, our parents, our fans, our alumni. We have some of the coolest alumni events when we have our alumni games. I love those. I try to make as many of those. I encourage as many of those. A lot of communities don't do that. That's one thing that's sort of indigenous to Milford that we do, that a lot of communities don't do. And I think it's part of our culture. And I think culture is important. So the more we can do to press forward and make that positive is only going to help everybody. So again, we're going to wrap it up. We're looking forward to more and more success in the Hockomock, in our division, in the state. Best of luck this season. Please do everything you can to be positive in the stands. Do everything you can be to be positive, hardworking, right? Championship sportsmanship, relentlessly pursue excellence. Conduct yourself accordingly every second of every day. And just help us represent Milford in a professional and powerful manner. I'm going to ask MTV to just kind of close out with this slide. Here's the coaches that you can email at the high school level. Right now, the boys and girls winter track is to be determined. So you can email me. I will not be coaching, but we're still searching to secure our coaching staff. Everybody else is in place. We're excited about that. We will have girls playing hockey this year. We have a Hockomock League co-op. We're excited about that. We have boys playing ice hockey with Douglas and with Hopedale. We're excited about that. We have 2 unified teams. We were the first unified strength and conditioning team in Massachusetts, and we're excited to continue. Unified bocce and our mainstream teams, those are the ones that we typically host in the winter. We're really excited about that. So come join us. Join a team. Get on a team. Try out. And if you're alumni or your fans or families, come watch us. We appreciate it. It matters. It gives us a 1%, 2%, 3% edge in what we're doing. So, again, thank you to MTV. Thank you to Lori Pinto for all she does. Thank you to Ashley Desko for all she does. And looking forward to more success in the Hockomock League and this winter. Come see us. We appreciate it.